Exercise 10C, Roman numeral X for 10. Caesar visits Britain. Gaius Julius Caesar, very famous leader of the Romans, fighting in Gaul, learned many things about Britain. Notice our present active participle pugnans. It says literally fighting in Gaul. You could say while he was fighting in Gaul or when he was fighting in Gaul. Anyway, the three literally fighting in Gaul expanded while he was fighting in Gaul or when he was fighting in Gaul. For merchants, having crossed over from Britain to Gaul, bought and sold many things. This neuter plural adjective in the accusative case, multa, can be many things because it's neuter gender. The participle transgressi is the perfect participle of a deponent verb, one of the gradior verbs. Transgredior means to go across. So having gone across or having crossed over from Britain to Gaul. And the Britons always sent aid to the Gauls resisting Caesar. Important to note that Britons is the subject, but it's got to be the subject of a real verb, metebant. The Britons sent. What did they send? They sent this accusative noun, aid. To whom did they send it? To the Gauls, dative case. Resistentibus is also dative, a present participle. What are these Gauls doing? The Gauls resisting Caesar. Caesar is dative because it goes with this intransitive verb. So again, the Britons always sent aid to the Gauls resisting Caesar. Therefore, Caesar, the Gauls having been conquered and his ships prepared, decided to cross over, to go across into Britain. The only real verb here is constituit, and Caesar's a subject. Caesar decided to go over to Britain. In this ablative absolute, we have two nouns, Gallis, meaning the Gauls, and navibus, meaning ships. Gallis victis says the Gauls having been conquered, and the one with ships in it says his ships having been prepared. You can turn this way around. You can say, when he conquered the Gauls and prepared his ships. It is best always to keep it literal, the Gauls having been conquered and the ships having been prepared. Nevertheless, about to set out, the soldiers, a great storm having arisen, were hardly able to ascend into the ships. Into the ships. I'm sorry. Hardly were able to ascend to the ships. Okay, sorry about the mix-up there. Let me say the sentence again. Nevertheless, the soldiers about to set out, a great storm having arisen, were scarcely able to ascend into or to board the ships. Here, two participles, one is profecturi, a future active participle of a deponent verb, about to set out. Who was about to set out? The soldiers. So you could either put it after the word soldiers, the soldiers about to set out. You could make a little clause. When the soldiers were about to set out, they were hardly able to get into the ship. Ablative absolute, noun in the ablative case, participle in the ablative case, and magna just for jokes. A great storm having arisen. You could say when a great storm arose, or when since a great storm arose. I'd keep it literal. A great storm having arisen. Several days later, when the ships were almost destroyed by the storm, the Romans the Romans approaching Britain caught sight of the inhabitants having been set up or arranged on all the hills. a phrase expressing time several days later. Cum clause, circumstantial, I think, when the ships had almost been destroyed by the storm, pluperfect subjunctive there. The Romans, approaching Britain, caught sight of the inhabitants, that is, the Britons themselves, having been arranged or set up on all the hills. So note, we see what each person is doing. The Romans are approaching Britain. The inhabitants, the British, are set up on all the hills. But just a participle takes care of that. Look at it once more. The Romans caught sight of, the Romans approaching Britain, to Britain, caught sight of the inhabitants arranged on all the hills. The Britons, notice we don't begin with Romanos, it's accusative. We have to leave it for a minute. The Britons, their javelins having been thrown, tried to drive away the Romans getting out of the ship or leaving. They're coming towards the Britons. So look at it once more. Who did what? Romans is accusative. They didn't do anything right now. Britanni nominative. The Britons. What did they do? Conati sunt. Tried. What did they try? To force back the Romans going out from the ship with their javelins having been thrown. But although they wounded many of the Romans, finally they, that is the Brits, were overcome. Notice you've got another although clause, quam, but with a nice little regular perfect tense indicative verb. Although they wounded many of the Romans.